Assalamu alaikum to all of my students. Hope you all are fine. Today I am going to take the last concept of degree of price elasticity of demand. That is price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand is less than 1. Yes, this price elasticity of demand is less than 1. What are the situations, what are the circumstances that lead to price elasticity of demand becomes less than 1? First, I will write down the statement, then we will discuss. Price elasticity of demand refers to a situation when change in quantity demanded in response to price response to price is such that is such that total expenditure decreases. Total expenditure decreases as price falls, and total expenditure total expenditure, yes, increases when price rises. It's the last concept of this high degree, degree of high case of price elasticity of demand. I will show this with the help of graph so that you can easily understand. This is the y-axis, this is x-axis, this is 0. For example, this is price. Tomorrow I will draw city bar. Now, for example, this initial price P. This is initial quantity Q. For example, if price falls to P1, quantity demanded for this initial price. When price falls to P1, quantity increases to Q1. This is DD करो, DD करो. How to measure the price elasticity of demand when total expenditure, as I write for understanding purpose, I write expenditure decreases when as price falls and total expenditure increases when price rises. As we are seeing, price falls P to P1, quantity increase Q to Q1, then total expenditure increases as price falls. Total expenditure increases means total expenditure as price rises. Try to calculate it. For example, in first case, for example, at price P, at price P, what will be the total expenditure? As I discussed in previous lectures, total expenditure is price multiplied by quantity. That will be because price is OP. Here is O. That will be OP multiplied by OQ, quantity OQ. Then this OP and OQ will be equal to area OP OQP. it will be equal to P O P, yes, O Q P, means this first initial P O P Q P, yes, ऐसे भी हम लिख सकते हैं O P Q P, O P Q P will be equal to second case at P1 when price falls, P1 total expenditure will be equal to OP1 multiplied by OQ1. That means area will be equal to this area that will be equal to OP1, yes, OQ1, yes, T, OQ1 T. In the second one, rectangle. Second one, rectangle. What this shows us? This shows us, as we make analysis, it will show us area OP, yes, conclusion. Here we write conclusion. What is the conclusion of this? OP, yes, OPQP is greater than area as compared to OP1Q1T. Means OP1 is greater than area, yes, QP. This area is greater than OP1Q1T area. This is a greater area. This is minor change, this is large change. Minor, large change. It shows us greater change in price leads to small change in quantity demand. As yesterday we discussed case, we draw flatter demand curve. That shows us minor change in price, large change in quantity demand. Here it shows us large change in price leads to small change in quantity demand. Means total expenditure falls. Means this shows us this price elasticity demand is less than 1. It is indicated by the area. P to P1 fall in price, change, yes, quantity demand Q to Q1. Means this area is smaller, this area is larger. Means price elasticity demand is less than 1. Now, I tell you yesterday, I will show you some shapes of elasticity of demand so that you will get easily understand these concepts. For understanding purpose, first one, if you have to write down the 5 cases for remember these cases for practice. First, perfectly elastic demand. Means and price elasticity demand is price elasticity demand is infinity. Price elasticity demand. What will be the shape of demand curve? As I tell you yesterday, first case. Then this is the price. This is y. This is 0. This is x. When you have to write down the perfect elastic demand curve, then definitely demand curve will be horizontal to x-axis. This is GD curve. The demand curve will be horizontal to x-axis. And when we were reading concept of, yes, geometric method of measuring price elasticity demand, at that time I tell you, when demand curve touches the y-axis, definitely at that time price elasticity demand will be infinity. Means this demand curve will be infinity. There will be no change in price, but current demand will change. For example, this will change. For example, this will change for 10, 20, 30. This we call perfectly elastic. When demand curve is perfectly inelastic, perfectly inelastic. Second case, demand curve. then opposite will happen. This is a horizontal, yes, demand curve. Here it will be parallel to y axis, y0 x. Here this is price. Demand curve will be horizontal to parallel to y axis. This is demand curve. It is when perfectly inelastic, definitely demand curve will be parallel to y axis. Parallel to y axis. This is the quantity demand here. And this price can change. Price for example 10, 20, 30. But quantity demand will remain same. It will not change. Third case. Third case. Where total expenditure remains constant. Then at that time, when we draw the graph, there is y, there is 0, there is x, here is price. Here is price. At that time, definitely change in price will be equal to change in quantity demand. For example, this is change in, this is price P, this is quantity Q, this is GD curve. Definitely, if price falls or rises, whatever may be, but the area, this area and this area should be equal. Change in price for P to P1, this area and this area should be equal, Q to Q1. That means total expenditure is constant, as I showed earlier. Fourth case, definitely you have to remember these, you have to practice 2 or 3 times these graphs, then it becomes easy for you to draw. Fourth case I tell, when you draw the demand curve flatter, it is easy, it's not difficult. Y0 x, here is price, here is quantity. You had kept in mind when you draw the flatter demand, make sure exactly flatter, slope should be flat, just like this. When you draw flatter demand curve, definitely it will show small change in price, greater change in quantity demand. Small change in price will lead to greater change in quantity demand, double. A small change in price, P to P1, here is Q to Q1. And small change in price leads to double, twice change in quantity demand. When you draw the flatter demand curve, it will show elastic demand will be greater than 1. Price elastic demand will be greater than 1. Last one case, fifth, which we read today. You have to draw the slope steeper. When you draw the steeper slope, it will show exact. For example, this is price. This is quantity demanded. When you draw the steeper demand curve, just like this, it will show exact if it is initial price, this initial quantity P, this is quantity Q. If price falls to, for example, this much, it will show minor change in quantity demand, large change in price P1, here is Q1. Means large change in this is twice, this is one area, this is GD curve. You have to keep in mind here simply we can price elastic demand is less than 1. For last two cases, you have to remember flatter the demand curve, greater the elasticity of demand. Here, steeper the demand curve, less the elasticity of demand. Here, when demand curve is horizontal to x-axis, definitely price elasticity of demand will be infinity. Here, when demand curve is parallel to y-axis, definitely, yes, price elasticity of demand will be inelastic. Means demand does not change, but price can change. Here, change in price means total expense here remains same. Change in price should be equal to change in quantity demand. This area should be equal. Then at that we will call total expense remains constant. Demand curve shows us that exact total expense remains constant. These are the 5 cases of price elasticity of demand. Now last one concept in this topic, that is rectangular hyperbola, that I will take in next time. Till that time you have to wait and watch. I'll be return back very soon. Hope for the best. Take care. Thanks. Have a nice day.